Okay, so chapter 8 is all about positive and negative whole numbers. So today we are learning about integers. The learning target is I can understand the concept of negative numbers and that they are used along with positive numbers to describe quantities. So positive numbers are greater than 0. They can be written with or without a positive sign. So we could write them as positive 2 or positive 1, 5, positive 20, 10,000. Those are all positive numbers, right? Okay, then we have negative numbers. Those are numbers less than 0, and they always must be written with a negative sign. So negative 1, negative 5, negative 20, negative 10,000. Two numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line, but on opposite sides of 100 are called opposites. And the opposite of 0 is 0. So what's the opposite of 100? Negative 100. What's the opposite of negative 3?
Negative 3.
What? No, what's the opposite of negative 3?
Oh, positive 3.
Positive 3. What's the opposite of 0?
0.
0.
Negative 0.
The opposite of 0 is 0. Okay? Yes. There are numbers that cancel each other out if you add them together. So if you add negative 3 and positive 3, you get 0. If you add 0 and 0, you get 0. Jackson?
And also, plus, if you subtract negative from positive, I think it adds.
Yes. If you subtract a negative, it ends up adding. So that's actually 7th grade math. So we won't even be learning that this year. Spencer?
If you add positive, is there positive and negative 0?
Nope. 0 is neither positive nor negative. It's just that weird middle ground. Jacob. I got it. Ahan.
Negative and positive, whenever you add negative or positive numbers, what when you do them, you get a different answer. So if you do negative and positive, you get negative answer, and if you do positive and negative.
It depends on the number. So if it's a bigger positive, you'll get a positive. If it's a bigger negative, then you'll get a negative. Yeah. Bella?
So my brother taught me this, and I'm pretty sure this is how it goes. If you add a negative to the positive, it'll end up positive. So like negative 3 plus positive 1, it'll be 4, like positive 4.
So if you add two negatives, so it depends on the number when you're adding two different signs. If you're adding two negatives, it'll be a negative. If you're adding two positives, it'll be positive. But if you're adding one of each sign, it depends on which one's bigger. And all of this is great conversation, and you should hold on to it until you get to 7th grade, because we're not even going to worry about adding or multiplying or anything. Okay? Yeah.
Say when you add negative 3 plus positive 3, would it equal 0 or?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they cancel each other out. Okay, our vocab this chapter is integers. Okay, integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. So positive 4, negative 4, positive 3, negative 3, negative 2, positive 2. Those are all integers. And right here it says 0 is neither positive nor negative. I said it backwards. Whoops. All right, so we are going to write positive or negative integers that represent each situation. A contestant gains 250 points on a game show. There's a key word here that tells us if it's positive or negative. What's that key word, Rosie? Gains. So is that a positive or a negative situation? Positive. So it'll be positive 250, which we can either write as 250 or positive 250. See in the bathroom? Okay. Gasoline freezes at 40 degrees below 0. What is the key word here that tells us if it's going to be positive or negative? Ahan? What? Below 0. Yeah. Below 0 means it's going to be negative 40. Okay, graph each integer and its opposite. So we are going to make a number line that goes from left to right. Whoops, that's not a very good line, but yeah, whatever. Okay, what number do we think is going to go in the 0? Go in the middle.
0.
Mrs. Campbell, who's worked with me for 4 years now, knows that I always blurt out the answer on accident. Oh, I'm convinced like we're related somewhere in our family tree. Okay? All right.
Yeah, he was passing out papers to Max and they accidentally gave him the paper they get to start.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Complicated math question games.
All right, graph each integer and its opposite. So we are going to graph the number 3. Okay, the number 3. From 0, we go in which direction, right or left? Right. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We'll label those. And we're going to put a dot on 3. What's the opposite of 3? So -1, -2, -3, and put a dot. All right, last one. We're going to draw a number line. What number goes in the middle? 0. And what number are we graphing?
-2.
-2. So we're going to go -1, -2, and put a dot. What's the opposite of -2?
Positive.
+2. So we're going to go up 1, up 2, and put a dot. All right. 5 being you feel like you understand this completely. 1 being like, I'm not 100% sure about this. How do we feel about this chapter so far? I think we feel quite a bit better than last chapter. Is this better than geometry?
Yes.
All right.
Geometry is the worst type of math.
Okay, listen up. So this is important. Ahan, do you have a question? You can try to fill out 8.2, but then we're going to do the notes tomorrow.